What's that you say? Your 2004 Ford Ranger with a 3-liter V6 is not charging? Well, I'm going to show you how to change the alternator. Yep, that's right. I've got my daughter's 2004 Ford Ranger here, and her alternator does not seem to be charging. Now, matter of fact, I had it kind of hooked up to my little tester here, and it seems to only charge at like 0.5 volt. So this morning I hooked it up, hooked our little tester up to the battery, tested it. Before I started the truck, the battery was at like 11 volts. Started the truck, it would charge at 11.5. I charged the battery to 12 volts, it would charge at 12.5. So the battery does have a full charge on it right now. As a matter of fact, let's see here. I'm going to hook up our little tester. Put this guy in so we can see what is going on here. That's not right. It has been at 12.7475 for the last half hour, 45 minutes. So our battery it's been on the charger all day. It's just over 2 years old, but it stopped right here. So now our battery is at 12.75. Normally I like to see the battery kind of in the 13, like 13.1s or something like that. That's a pretty darn good battery, but this battery is a couple years old. So that might explain why it's in the 12.75, but it isn't dropping below 12.75, so that's good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you off to our little wily Coyote here. He's going to be the cameraman, and I'm going to show you guys what I kind of go through to change out an alternator on one of these little Ford Rangers. So I'm just going to use some basic tools. All right, you ready, bud?
Yep.
Get on over here. All right, first things first, you want to come over here to our negative side of the battery cable here. Now on this little guy, it should be an 8mm or 15/16 if you do not have an 8mm. So I'm going to get in here real quick, grab our 8mm socket. Let's see here. Focus. Boom. Get that on the end there. Now, I always... What's that? Oh, nothing. Scared myself. So, always disconnect the negative side, because if you were ever to slip while doing one of these, well, metal, if you touch metal, it's not going to hurt it. This little guy is kind of wore out, so I'm going to go ahead and leave him right there for right now. So, get our negative battery cable undone. Next, to kind of give us a little bit more room, regular screwdriver. Go ahead and undo the hose clamps for our intake tube. Now, you really don't have to do this. This is kind of an extra step that I take because, well, I don't like a bunch of stuff in my way. So if I can get it off and give myself just a little bit more room, that would be better. I don't have to fight nothing. So just these two hose clamps here, one here, one here. This little guy, normally this would pull out of the tube here, but if you wiggle it, you can unsnap this from the valve cover. As you can see, this one has been professionally repaired with Gorilla Tape. Not by me, that was by somebody else. But it's working, so I haven't fixed it yet. Now, next, grab yourself a 15mm end wrench. If you look down here, bud, look down in here. See, right down here, we got a belt tensioner. That is a 15mm. If I remember correctly, it should be, put your wrench on and press down to release or to loosen your belt. So, boom. So push down. If you look up here now, it is loosened up the belt just enough. We're going to take it off our alternator and we're going to release our wrench. Go ahead and leave that wrench on there for right now, if you can, and just let your belt kind of relax. That way it doesn't fall off all your other pulleys, and this will make it a lot easier to put back on. later once we change the alternator. Now next, let's go ahead and break all. No, let's hold on a second. Jumping ahead of myself. Grab a, I believe it would be a 10 millimeter. If you come back here, buddy, back here. On the back side of the alternator, we got 2 plugs. And this guy right here. Now this is our battery cable. And it should. Let me grab our regular screwdriver real quick. Just get up underneath it and lift this little boot off. There we go. She's coming. Boom. There we go. Lift the boot off. You're going to see a 10 millimeter bolt or a 10 millimeter nut right there. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's grab our 10 millimeter wrench. Go ahead, and this is why too I say disconnect the battery. This will help keep this thing from sparking if it was a touch metal. So just a safety precaution. Now be aware when you unplug the battery, if you don't have a battery saver, you're going to be replacing all of your radio stations and the clock. So we'll take that guy off. We'll just move him over here. Put him back on so we don't lose him. You can take your same regular screwdriver, get up underneath this little plug, kind of turn it, releases the lock. Unplug him. Same on this guy. You can use it just kind of help release the lock here. Come on. There we go. Boom. So you can see the little lock here. You can get up underneath this, pick up a little bit. It unhooks from the little tab. This one here is much larger. You can kind of get it on the side here and just kind of turn it, but be careful, especially if it's the original plugs. As many heat cycles as they go through, they are going to be brittle, so if you go too far, you will break them. Next, grab yourself a 13 millimeter socket. Can you see 13 there on the camera?
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and grab these guys here. If you got a wrench, you can use a wrench. Okay, 3 bolts is all that holds our alternator in. Go ahead and pull them out the front. Take a look at them. Yep. So now you got all 3 bolts out. We got undone from our bracket. Let's take this guy here to the back of the truck. Okay, here's our old alternator. Right here is our auto parts store alternator. Now you always want to just at least put these things side by side. Get a good look at them. So if you get up here, both of them look to have the same style pulleys, have the same mounting brackets here. You can tell by our bodies, our cases here look to have the bolts all in the same spots. So that is good. Now let's go ahead and flip it over. Make sure we have the same style plugs. So we've got our battery cable here. Got our little 1-wire hook up here on both sides. Got our big plug here as well. So that is the same. 3 bolts. Make sure our bolts or our hardware is all the same from our old alternator to our rebuilt one, so everything looks the same. So let's go ahead, since that has passed our test, let's take this guy back up to the front and reinstall it. Basically, everything is reinstalled in reverse. We got our 3 bolts here. Let's go ahead and start those. See, our mounting holes are much larger than our bolts, which is fine. That's the same. That's how our alternator was before. But it does seem to fit pretty well. I'm guessing it necks down at the bottom here or sits in some kind of pin because she's pretty solid. Once we got all our bolts started, make sure they all go in the holes. That's when we can go ahead and tighten each one up. Now, if you're looking for a torque spec for these bolts, I don't know. I just put them on there, snug them up. Kind of around the same as they were when I took them off. There we go. Nice and snug. You don't have to get all crazy with them, but I'm sure there is a torque spec for them somewhere, and if you're really interested in that, Google probably has it. So that guy's snug. Now I'm going to go ahead and reach down and grab our little 15mm wrench that I had before. Go ahead and pull tension on our belt. Make sure it is still wrapped around all our pulleys and hasn't jumped off any of the grooves. Definitely something you want to pay attention, because if it jumps off the pulley here on any of the pulleys with grooves on it, it will cut the belt. So just double check, make sure it hasn't fallen off. Once you've done that, go ahead and apply force to your tensioner to give your slack back. Make sure that goes back on. Everything looks good to go. Now, since we got our belt back on, got our 3 bolts back in, let's go ahead and take our, there it is, plug that guy back in, plug this guy back in as well, remove our 10mm nut, grab our battery cable, make sure it's nice and clean. If you have to, take a little knife or a wire brush, clean off any corrosion you might find. This one looks good, so go ahead and reinstall that guy there. Put our 10mm back on. Got him nice and started. Get him snug back up. Don't go too, just snug is all you need on this. You don't have to really put out on it. It just needs to be snug because it's a small 10mm. If you get it too tight, you will break it. Once that guy's back on, go ahead and take your little boot, reattach, go ahead and attach him back over our plug, just like the original one was. Cover up that bolt. Try to help keep some of the moisture out of it, protect it from the elements. So now that that guy's back on, these guys are plugged back in, alternator's back where it goes. Let's take our intake tube, reach underneath here, put this guy back in where it came from, install our boots on our throttle body and our air box, snug this guy back up. Again, these are just hose clamps. You just have to have them snug. Once you got those guys snug back up, let's go ahead, put our battery cable back on our battery. Get that guy snug back up as well. Okay, he is tight. Once we got all that tight, stay right there, bud. Go ahead, reach across, start this thing up. There we go. Come on over here, big guy. Now we see our alternator is charging at 14.3 volts, 14.4. When before it was only charging at about 13 or just a little over half a volt more than what the battery was. So now that we've got our swapped out our alternator, we are now charging at a 13.2, 13.3 is what I seen there. Just to double check. Yeah, 14.1, 14.4. So we have got a good alternator on the truck now. It is charging, and that is going to do it for this video. Figured I'd do just a nice, quick, easy video. Show you guys it doesn't take a whole lot to change your alternator on one of these trucks, and how to test to make sure it's charging. So hope this helps some of you guys out. Hope you enjoyed. Give a guy a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Let me know how many cameramen did as well. Put that down in the comments. But thank you guys. Hope it helps you out. I'll catch you on the next one.